Would you personally date a transgender person?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
No.
No. No.
And why is that?
I'm heterosexual.
Would you date a transgender person? First, we're gonna ask Georgetown, and then we're gonna ask the Hood.
Either of you guys date a transgender?
Yeah, I would. Yes.
And have you ever done it?
No.
Yeah, I'm already in a relationship.
Is it a transgender relationship?
No, it's not.
Would you date a transgender person?
I don't see why not. I don't think it's like that big of a deal.
Would you personally date a transgender person?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Would you date a transgender?
No, I'm a transgender. I like men.
I was not expecting that voice. That voice threw me all the way off.
A man that's dressed as a woman would make me appear to be a lesbian in public, but I'm heterosexual. I wouldn't date a woman that's dressed as a man because then that is being a lesbian, and I'm not a lesbian. So
Why don't you want to?
I mean, I'm straight, bro. Like, I like females.
Right.
Real females, you feel what I'm saying? So if you're dating a transgender person and you're straight at the time, does that mean you're straight after you date them?
Yes. Yeah.
I think you're still straight. Like you're a guy and you're dating a trans girl.
No.
Yeah, I think you're still straight. Because also sometimes it's just hard to tell.
You went with the person that was trans. You are now playing with the gayness. You have now opened the door of homosexuality.
You're still straight even if you're dating a transgender person?
Yes. I guess because it's your own sexuality, and I guess it doesn't really matter in regard to who you're dating as long as it's what you are.
When do we reach that point where you're no longer straight?
Like, okay, let's say you're a male, but then you're with someone who was a woman but transitioned into a male, then I guess like you would be gay then. People who identify as the same gender. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so it's all by identity, not necessarily by biology in that respect, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
People are telling us that you could date a transgender person and still be straight. Does that make sense to you?
No, that don't make sense because they changed their gender. So technically, you still not straight. You changed your gender for that person.
No, because they're not originally a girl. I wouldn't say that you still be straight.
You think that's something else at that point?
Yeah, it's something else. You might have to make up something.
it don't make sense. It is how you straight, but you dating. I guess because they changed their gender, but like it still don't make sense.
It don't.
Because you were born your way.
Can't still be straight and do that. I don't see how that can be.
This idea that because they're trans, it shouldn't affect me. When you start getting into the trans, things start to get a little bit confusing. What do you even claim? So two girls, one of the girls transitioned to a man, so it's a straight relationship. You're a lesbian.
There's a lot of unknown, and that really freaks people out. Probably just scared to get judged if they're dating a transgender, like, oh, then people are gonna think I'm gay.
Because
Why do you think people wouldn't want to date a transgender person?
They're transphobic and homophobic. Probably that they just don't understand.
Well, it's a choice. Some people don't want to date men. Some people don't want to date women.
Why exactly do you not want to?
Because I'm not into them. They're cool. I will hang with them. But personally, I'm not doing that. Dating, not doing that.
So do you think a lot of this is education based?
Yeah, I think like if we start young, we could definitely teach children to be more accepting and more loving of everyone of different identities.
Like starting like kindergarten, preschool?
Yeah, I think so. Just showing like different families and different identities, how people feel about their identity and in their own skin is really helpful.
There is no child on this planet that needs to know about their sexuality, sexual orientation at 4, 5, 6, 7. Every child you encounter is just trying to spell apple. Let children be children. Literally a waste of time to be teaching this to children, and dangerous because now you're confusing them.
Why do you think some people wouldn't date a transgender person?
I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with things that they are not educated on. We don't talk about it enough, and so a lot of people don't know how to approach things like this.
What gets me about that girl is that she would never date a trans man. And I keep seeing so many people who advocate for dating or being in a relationship with trans people, but they themselves would never be in a relationship with a trans person. Even the trans person said they don't want to be with a trans person. What does that mean?
People are scared of what they don't know about, and they're just uneducated, and they don't make the efforts to educate themselves.
Yeah, and how do you think we change that? Is that something we would like go to the schools?
I think we could introduce more education in the schools and like things like health classes, but I think a lot of places are really against that. They're against like sex ed and all that in general. So it's hard, but I think the schools would be a good place to start.
Some people that we spoke to said that the reason people wouldn't want to date a transgender person is because of education. Do you agree with that?
I'm gonna say no because that's not the way I go.
You would never change your feelings, right?
No.
Do you think that like we should be trying to educate people to change their feelings?
If you want to, and if they're open to hear it.
Do you guys date a transgender?
Actually, no. Not really. Yeah, I'm not really.
Why not?
I believe this is not normal. This is not normal thing to change from female to male or male to female.